and all, and he brings it to you. Creature features, and all creatures, and all features. And the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from the fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. 'Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Gonna get you tonight.
Tangella, do tell me, what contains two handsome bald men, nay, three handsome bald men, a train, a frozen beast, and some of the most iconic horror stars ever seen? She says a season premiere of The Kardashians. Actually, the answer to my query is tonight's episode of our show, but how in the world did she discover this rubbish program?
She ran a cable up to the telephone pole and is hijacking cable.
Tangella, you could be in prison for that.
Actually, sir, you would be.
Oh, that would be positively dreadful. Do instruct Andrew to disconnect that line at the earliest moment. Back to my original bloviation. Welcome to Creature Features. I'm your host, Vincent. The sensibly virtuous chap on your left would be my honourable butler, Mr. Livingston, and the cunning young pirate on the rightmost portion of your television screen would be my precocious charge Tangella. Do we have a phenomenal show in store for you tonight? First, we'll be watching 1972's Horror Express. Fabulous film with some rather quite renowned faces like Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Telly Savalas. But maybe the most recognizable face you'll see tonight is that of our wonderful guest, because joining us to watch the film will be the sensational Michael Berryman. You might remember Michael from The Hills Have Eyes, or from one of the other 100-plus films and television programs he has graced in his storied career. You know, Livingston, he was a captain on Star Trek.
Captain Rix, a Bolian, commander of the USS Thomas Paine.
Remarkable. I didn't know you were such a Trekkie. But the question begs, how do you watch Star Trek and receive no television signal here at the Manor? It's all becoming quite clear to me now. It would appear that it requires more than just one pirate to fill a frigate. In any case, don't go away, because it shall be another night of horror-filled fright right here on Creature Features. Stay tuned. Welcome to Creature Features. It's that night that we do all these horrible things, but tonight is not going to be horrible. You know why? Because we have got the one and the only Michael Berryman. I mean, yes, it's you.
Me? Are you
We've
kidding?
been trying to get you forever. He's a busy man.
Very busy.
No, I was looking at your IMDb. It's like, it's longer than my leg. No, it is. You've been in like everything. And then like 2 or 3 things that are beyond everything.
Some of the things they list,
I was going to say,
wasn't in.
but there's none. Really? That you got credit for things you didn't do?
yes.
No. Well,
But I didn't get that residual for it, though.
oh, that's a shame. We should speak to attorneys about this, right?
Exactly.
Right. How's the trip up?
It was very delightful. I left about 9:30 from good old Grass Valley, Nevada County,
nice,
and
nice.
took Highway Interstate 80. But Garmin wanted me to go down to Marin, and I said no.
No, do you not?
So I had
get
to turn it
Marin?
off. I took Highway 12, went through Sonoma.
You know, it's expensive in Marin.
It's very.
There's lots of nice but rather snooty people down there. I've heard. I've not experienced this, so don't blame me.
There's a phrase I've heard about, something about Tiburon.
Oh, Tiburon. You know, I
Yeah.
looked at a house in Tiburon. They're a bit pricey for that view,
Yes.
but you can see everything. All right, well, we're going to watch Horror Express. You have not seen this film yet, or you have?
It's been many, many moons.
So you don't remember. You're like me. If you haven't seen it in the last month, you forget and you can't remember anything. That's the way
sorry,
I
what?
am. Well, you know, I watch a film,
Yeah.
and if I wait like 6 months and watch it again, it's like a brand new film for me.
Fantastic.
All right, well, we're going to watch that movie with this man, and afterwards we're going to have a few commercials, but when we come back, we're going to learn a lot more about Michael Berryman, so you guys stay with us.
The following report to the Royal Geological Society by the undersigned Alexander Saxton is a true and faithful account of events that befell the Society's expedition in Manchuria. As the leader of the expedition, I must accept responsibility for its ending in disaster, but I will leave to the judgment of the honorable members the decision as to where the blame for the catastrophe lies.
I'm sorry. There is the seat left.
My name is Saxton. Alexander Saxton. If you will check, you will find a telegram I sent you 3 weeks ago instructing you to reserve accommodation for me.
There's nothing I can do. Hello? Yes.
The bag you sorted out anyway.
Yes.
Well, look who's here. Professor Saxton, I presume?
Dr. Wells,
And what are you doing in Shanghai?
I've asked you the same thing.
Oh, I'm just collecting a few specimens. Miss Jones, let me introduce Professor Alexander Saxton. He dabbles in fossils and bones.
Glad to meet you, Professor.
How do you do?
Miss Jones has been assisting me. Bacteriology. Excellent technician.
For a woman, he means.
Excuse me. 2 private compartments to Moscow, if you please.
2, you say? Will that be all?
And 3 crates of animals.
Impossible.
I know I'm asking you to perform miracles, but perhaps it will help. Thank you. It's called squeeze in China. The Americans don't know how.
And in Britain, we call it bribery and corruption. Now, sir, excuse me.
You... Get out!
Huh? Sir Alexander Saxton? Yes? Captain O'Hagan, sir. General Wang told me to find you, and to make myself useful.
Now I remember. I do have your Excellency's ticket. Your ticket, right here.
Thank you.
And the Lord had mercy on his soul.
Not that he deserves it, the dirty thief. You have his things?
You knew him?
Krasinski, the locksmith, he could open any trunk with a hairpin.
A thief? But he was blind.
Blind, he could spot a policeman a mile away. I'll be damned.
The work of the devil.
Can I be of any assistance, Father?
This is yours.
It is, but I demand an explanation.
Whatever you have here is unholy and must be destroyed.
Inspector Mirov, what is in there, Excellency?
Fossils.
What is a fossil?
A stone.
Stones.
There wouldn't be something valuable in there, like gold.
Gold? It's a laboratory specimen. No value to a thief.
Where there is God, there is always a place for the cross. Even on this stone floor, just so. But Satan is evil. And where evil is, there is no place for the cross.
Rubbish. A conjurer's trick. Captain?
Yes, sir.
You get your men to put the crate on the train.
Ready? Lift it up. Off you go.
Hello, I'm Vincent, this is Tangella, and we just want to remind you we've got a wonderful website. It's at creaturefeatures.tv, and at that location we've got things like previous episodes, our merchandise, we've got photographs of the entire gang, including Tangella and her hideous friend. So be sure to come see our site. You'll love it. Welcome back to the show. We are watching Horror Express with Michael Berryman, of all people. There's no better man in the world to watch Horror Express with, I think. I could be wrong.
I could agree with that.
Yes, right. So nothing's happened in the film yet. They've just like,
I know,
gonna get on the train and maybe something, we'll see. All right, enough about this. Let's talk about you, because you are why we are here tonight. How did you get started in all this?
I got started in all of this because of my father going to Hiroshima.
Hiroshima?
Yes, exactly.
Your father was Japanese?
No, my father was a very well-known neurologist out of Los Angeles.
Right.
He was a Navy surgeon attached to the 3rd Marine Division. And after they dropped the bomb, my father went on a secret mission to see what the effects were on the civilian population. I have letters that he sent to my mother. He wasn't supposed to, because he actually sent photographs, very grisly photographs. So my father comes home after the war. I have an older sister. I'm the next born. There's only one problem with that, was I was born premature with about 14 birth defects. The effect of radiation obviously had an effect on his DNA.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, my skull was fused. The creases in my skull were the result of Children's Hospital saving my life. On a Saturday morning, I was taken to a hospital, and my curly locks that were even more fantastic than your do, it was quite fantastic. And they lied to me. They said it would grow back, but it did not. But it did save my life. I remember going to sleep, waking up blind. It took about 3 weeks to get my vision back. They cut my skull into pieces, put little pieces of my bones from my hips to keep them separated, so my fantastic brain would grow.
As it should.
As it should, and as it did. So I went through school, dealt with all the issues that children deal with when you look like I do as a kid. Learned a lot of lessons, had some great parenting, teaching me how life can really be and what to be appreciative for, because there's always somebody that's worse off than you. I learned a lot about humanity through my Nana, Sophie, my grandmother. And I wound up in high school, went to college, San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly, was going to be a veterinarian.
A vet?
Yeah, a vet.
An animal doctor?
Animal doctor, love animals.
Nice.
Actually lived at a wolf sanctuary for 20 years.
Oh, that's nice.
Off and on. I have good ink. So I realized that the end of my fingers weren't very good at doing sutures and stuff. So what do I do now? Didn't know. I went back to Los Angeles, to Santa Monica, my hometown, bought a 4-wheel drive truck, and I said, you know what, I'm going to fill up paperwork and I'm going to go to Alaska and homestead.
Right.
Before I did that, I had a little business in Venice Beach on West Washington, little plant shop, gift shop, arty-farty, hippy-dippy stuff,
Right,
you know,
right.
like you do. And I met a gentleman named George Powell.
The George Powell.
The George Powell.
He's famous. Quite famous.
War of the Worlds, Journey to the Center of the Earth,
Yes.
and The Time Machine. So
Right.
he came into my shop and he said, "Excuse me, but are you an actor?" I do terrible British accents, but he did a really good one. And I
Right.
said, "No, I have this store and I'm going to go take off to
Right.
Alaska." And he said, "Call my office at Warner Brothers Studios. I want to put you in my movie called Doc Savage with Ron Ely. You have the perfect look." He actually did this twice. And I said, "What, I'm going to be the coroner and I'm going to give you the results of your father's autopsy." So he did and I worked one day and I had a union card for the Screen Actors Guild and $400. And I said,
That's it.
"That
You're
was
an
cool.
actor."
I want to put some gas, put some petrol in my truck and go north."
Right.
Except I got a phone call from George's casting director. They were doing another project called One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh my goodness.
And that was
And that was it?
127 days working with Jack and the boys and
Right.
Nurse Ratched and at a real mental hospital. And I learned a lot about these things, cameras and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Hills Have Eyes after that.
And what a way to
Bingo.
start. I mean, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was
Here you go, kid.
one of the most famous movies ever made.
One of the very best.
Right. And then Hills Have Eyes. We were going to talk about that one next. But first we're going to get back to this film.
I want
Right?
popcorn. Where's the popcorn?
Livingston, we need popcorn for our guest.
I'm working on it.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Well, you stay there. We want you to stay here because there's some more movie, and then we're going to come back with Michael Berryman soon. So you guys stay with us.
Always great to see you.
It's all there, sir.
Oh, yeah. I want to be careful with this one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Fine, goodbye.
Follow me.
What are you going to astound the scientific world with this time?
You'll read about it in the Society's annual report. It's a remarkable fossil.
Fossil? But you've got something live in there. I heard it.
You're mistaken.
You won't need to feed it then.
The occupant hasn't eaten in 2 million years.
That's one way to economize on food bills.
Baggage man. Alinka, what's the matter with you?
Yes, Countess?
You have a safe of valuables?
Yes, Countess. I shall make out a receipt.
Excuse me. Alinka's afraid of something. What do you have in that crate?
Oh, nothing that would interest Alinka, madame.
Normally she likes Englishmen. All we Poles do.
I am honored, madame.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
I admire Poland, madame. I believe that there is a bond between our countries.
My husband, the Count Petrovsky, says that in the 15th century, your King Henry betrayed us to the Russians.
I hope that you and your husband, madame, will accept my profoundest apologies.
Oh, she's really afraid. I wonder what it is.
May I escort you back to your carriage, madame? Yours?
Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Yes?
I was on the platform before when that mad monk was carrying on.
Yes?
I'm an engineer, a scientist. And this is ordinary chalk. How do you explain it's not writing on that crate?
Hypnosis, yoga. These mystics can be very convincing. They can even hypnotize themselves.
The fresh food we will pick up. Who will pay for it, sir?
Oh, just give me an account of how much you spent. If someone were to drill a little hole in this crate during the night and take a look at what's inside, I'd be very grateful.
It's in order.
Help me.
In what way, madam?
Is this number 8?
That's next door, Wells compartment.
There, don't cry. Everything will be all right.
Excuse me.
Sorry, dear fellow, I'm afraid you're in the wrong pew. Here, number 8, do you see?
8A, lower berth. 8B, upper berth.
Don't worry. Look here. I was supposed to have this compartment to myself.
If you don't mind.
I'm sorry if I'm in your way.
Excuse me. I have no ticket and I have to get out of Shanghai. I'm sure I can make it worth your while.
The young lady's in trouble.
Well, what do you suggest we do about it?
Couldn't you double up with somebody else?
Miss Jones?
Steady.
I'm sure we can all get along very well together.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Welcome back to the show. Mr. Berryman had to step away and take a call from his agent. You know, this man is, I think, the busiest man in Hollywood. And I don't know why, but I think it's because he's a skilled thespian.
A good word.
Something like that. Anyways, it's we're going to do some letters, but first, what's with the fake skulls, Tangela? She usually has real ones, like actual real ones with rotten flesh.
Skullduggery.
I think she's preparing for Halloween. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyways, let's do some letter because you guys send us letters and we read them, right? All of them.
You do.
I do. Well, you read them first because they're always open by the time I get them. All right. First letter is from Bryant Van Beckham. He does not say from where. And he goes, Dear Vincent, Creature Features is a great show. I love the set. Why do they think we're on a set?
I haven't the vaguest idea.
I shall rephrase that for you, Bryant. I love your house. All right. And even more the cast. And the cast. All right. And he loves us. You and Livingston have such great charisma, but Tangela is so cute. As you know, the films are less than spectacular, but that's part of the charm. I have some ideas for possible films. When I was a kid, Creature Features had The Vulture. Is that the one with the... where it's eating the plane?
Yes, I believe so.
We tried to get that one. They said no. The Maze, which I've never heard of. We'll look into that. And I, too, like the green slime. Isn't all slime green?
It depends.
Yeah, all right. Keep up the great work. I'm watching every week. And keep an eye on Tangela. I think she has something behind her back. You know, she's actually quite a good person. He's the one that's got something behind his back, like hijacked cable. Thanks for writing, Bryant. Next up, we've got a formal-looking letter. It says, do not discard. We shall not discard this. All right, this is from Cabbage. There's a better way to fund your small business. Why are you giving me junk mail? Give me real mail. All right. This is a real person. Randy Fleming in San Francisco says, Dear CF, that's us, Creature Features, right? CF?
Good guess, sir.
All right. Enjoy your show. Why do the movies look so low definition, though? Like VCR tapes after the 14th generation of copying. Otherwise, I always watch your show. I'm in love with Tangela, but I'm older than her grandpa, likely. Well, as far as the tapes go, I have no idea. Why do they look like that?
It's his television, perhaps.
Oh, it's your television. And Grandpa shouldn't speak that way, Randy. Last letter?
Last letter?
Last letter. All right, here we go. This one is from Tina Box in Garnerville, New York. Garnerville. Sounds like a nice place. All right, she goes, hey, I've watched your show a few times. I guess it's okay, but I have a few observations to make. Number one, the girl with the dreadlocks looks like she went to her stylist and told them to make her hair look like somebody dumped a pot of thick spaghetti over her head. She should do a commercial for Ragu or Chef Boyardee. That could be a career option for you. All right, number two, the butler sounds like he went to finishing school in Scandinavia. His voice is like that of a drunken Swede who always complains about the weather. And number three, the host looks like he ate an entire box of makeup and then proceeded to vomit the consolidated mixture into a spinning fan. He probably gets his hair done at the same place as the girl, but it looks as though they don't like him as much as they do her. Yours truly, Tina Box. Well, I don't know how to respond to this.
Then don't.
Well, no, I will say Tina Box, her name is a complete sentence. Tina Box.
Oh, good one, sir.
Right. All right, that's it for letters. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address you see appearing under my shoe, or if you'd like to use it sending conventional methods, send it to the address you see appearing here. Either way, it'll get to us, and we'll read it, and hopefully it won't be junk mail. All right, we'll be right back with Michael, but right now we're going to get back to Horror Express.
There's the stink of hell on this train. Even the dog knows it.
When the Englishman comes to call, what should I wear?
Sure of yourself, aren't you? The blue one with the décolleté. Or perhaps the red one.
You're jesting with her immortal soul.
That's why we keep you, Pujardov. Our immortal souls are your concern.
She's afraid of something.
Tell me, Pujardov.
Yes?
Which do you think I should wear for the Englishman? The red or the blue?
Enough. I forbid you to talk this way.
You forbid?
Forgive me, Your Excellency. My concern for the spiritual welfare of the Countess, I forgot myself. I will pray for humility.
Pray hard, Pujardov, or you'll find yourself praying for a job, too.
May the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
It's the piece I was playing. I wonder who it is.
I thought one of you might know what happened to the baggage man.
I haven't the remotest idea.
What about you?
Perhaps it had something to do with what's inside that crate.
I agree with you. He was trying to open it when something happened.
What? Fortunately, he was interrupted.
Yes. By whom? Why are you so worried about it being opened?
It may be my fault. I asked the baggage man to take a look. I was curious.
It was no concern of yours. Or of yours. Good night.
One man dead, another missing. It's time we open this box.
You will do no such thing.
Give me the key. See if you can open the crate with that. Go ahead!
The baggage man.
What was in there?
I told you, a fossil, part ape, part man. It lived 2 million years ago.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there, then locked everything up neat and tidy and got away?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Lock him up. We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I've always kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
My glass is empty.
Oh, forgive me. My mind was elsewhere.
What is it?
I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Haven't we met?
I don't believe so.
Yes, at the governor's palace, General Wang.
You're mistaken.
Of course, I beg your pardon. It was somebody else. What's the matter?
The eye of that fish. It's white.
Naturally, it's boiled.
Boiled. Yes. Yes. Is it true you're a doctor? Ask me when I finish my dinner.
It's urgent.
What are the symptoms?
He's dead. You saw him.
Oh, that one. There's nothing I can do for him.
Now there's one more dead. One of my soldiers. The same white eyes. I want to know the cause of death.
Who's dead?
Keep your nose out of it. You didn't hear anything.
Excuse me. Is Professor Saxon's fossil still at large?
I think the fossil, or whatever it is, escaped. Jumped off the train.
Miss Jones, I shall need your assistance.
Yes, well, at your age, I'm not surprised.
With an autopsy?
Oh, well, that's different.
And it's that Saturday night time again, Horror Express with Mr. Michael Berryman. You know, if I eat too much of that stuff, I will fall asleep on you.
We can't have that.
No, I know, it's all for you. Livingston made Michael some popcorn because he's nice that way. All right, so the film, Horror Express, they're on the train, bad things are happening. Yeah, it's always something bad happening on a train. Exactly, making the sound and horror mixed together. I think there's a thing. All right, well, we're going to see what this monster looks like soon, but for now, Michael Berryman, you're most famous, maybe, for Hills Have Eyes. Would you say that's your pinnacle role so far?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to hear a story about making that film.
Okay. I got to go to Venice Beach to a meeting with Peter Locke and a guy named Wes Craven.
Wes Craven.
Really nice guy. He seems so calm and genteel.
He's not like you'd expect.
No, he's not ghoulish or scary at all or intimidating.
Right.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he says, we're going to go out to the desert, and there's a cannibal family and a white bread family. They go on vacation, and of course, when the guy at the gas station says, stay on the main road, of course, we know they don't.
Of course not.
Of course not. So we went out to the desert in the Mojave Desert, north of Los Angeles.
Right.
And we ran around and harassed the Susan Lanier, my co-star. Actually, there's a scene where Pluto he's attacking her in the most unrefined manner.
Right.
We set the camera up, and when my brother Mars pulls the curtain back and you see us, Susan's idea was that we would be really making out hot and heavy, and so Wes laughed and we all laughed, and it was hilarious. And she's still a very dear friend. I keep in touch with her. She's very, very talented.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. But my face wound up on the poster.
I noticed that. How did that happen?
It was incredible. Well, we had a very low budget. I think they shot the film for $165,000. I believe that's the number.
And that was in 74,
6 or 7.
That was a lot of money back then.
A fair amount of money, yeah. But we didn't have permits, so we would just drive out into the desert and then start rolling
Guerrilla filming.
Guerrilla filming. And I had surgery under my arms, and my shoulder pads that I was wearing, the hides, they looked appropriate for a cannibal.
Right.
But they also would hide the dressings. And I don't do heat very well. In the daytime, it's kind of rough on me. I hide under, in the shade as much as possible. But at night, it was lovely for me. Well, Peter Locke and Wes Craven sat me down. We had a cup of coffee during lunch, and he says, every time we were late, the guy playing Jimmy Whitworth, God bless him, a good union man, if we were 5 minutes late, he would call the union, and everybody would get a bump. And I said, well, that's kind of the rules. And they said, yeah, but you weren't complaining. Our point is, we're going to give you $1 million worth of free advertising. Really? So I was doing some calculations in my head, and I said, well, could I just get a smaller check instead? And he says, no, I'm going to put you on the poster. And God bless him that I was on the DVD, I'm even in another movie with that poster, Evil Dead.
The poster of you in Hills Have Eyes is in Evil Dead.
Yes, in the
I have to
cabin.
watch that again just to see that.
And what poster was in the trailer in The Hills Have Eyes?
I don't know.
Jaws.
Jaws. But you were not in Jaws.
No, but the directors were all doing little shout-outs and wink-winks to one another. That's what they do.
That's how they do it. It's like their version of an Easter egg.
I know.
Right. That's incredible. So I know I Googled you and it's like Michael Berryman everywhere if you Google Hills Have Eyes. I just learned how to use Google. It's a new thing. Have you tried it?
Chrome. Google Chrome.
Chrome, Google. I haven't tried Chrome Google. I just tried regular plain vanilla Google.
It's rather tinny.
It's getting silly, isn't it? Let's get back to the film. We should get back to this film, right? Right. All right. Off we go back to Horror Express. Stay with us.
Very curious.
A genetic defect, obviously.
Scalpel?
Mm-hmm.
Can you keep that still?
What is he doing?
Tree pan.
Don't get up, please. I see you have decided to dine alone, Sir Alexander.
I've eaten in worse circumstances and in worse company.
And so.
Here you are, Doctor.
You're in bad humor because you've lost your box of bones. Hmm?
That box of bones, madame, could have solved many of the riddles of science. If the theory of evolution is confirmed, if the science of biology is revolutionized, if the very origin of man is determined.
I have heard of evolution. It's immoral.
It's a fact. And there's no morality in a fact.
And what about the baggage man? And that poor thief at the station?
What about them?
They are dead. Was your creature responsible for that?
Probably.
And you don't care?
A baggage man and a thief? You're right, madame. I don't care as much as I should.
Can you tell me how he died?
Smooth as a baby's bottom. You saw this man today and he was normal.
Absolutely.
It must be a mutation, a freak of nature.
What's so special about this brain?
Learning and memory are engraved on the normal brain, leaving a wrinkled surface. This brain has been drained. The memory has been removed, like chalk erased from a blackboard.
Come in.
Thank you. It's all yours.
I won't be long.
Miss, it's Dr. Wells. Miss, are you all right? Miss, are you there?
Come in.
Feeling better?
Yes. Anything wrong?
That woman who was killed. The engineer, you know, the chess player. He told me that she was an international spy.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you do? Well, could that fact have had anything to do with her death?
What do you think?
Dr. Wells and I performed an autopsy on her. Her brain was completely smooth, just like the baggage man's. Everything had been erased. Now, I have a theory about this.
I'm only a policeman, Professor. I don't have much education.
Well, I'd make it simple. Supposing that creature, the one you killed, was capable of taking ideas directly from other people's brains and transferring them to its own.
You mean it sucked other people's brains?
Absorbed through the eyes. That was our first clue, the eyes going white.
Then, if the beast had absorbed your brains, all of your education would have gone into its brain. It would have been as clever as you.
Much more so, because what it had taken from me would have been added to the learning that it already had.
Professor, spy, baggage man, and thief. What was the creature looking for?
Well, that we'll never know, now that it's dead. And yet...
What?
A creature like that. How would it ever die?
Inspector?
What is it?
I found this. The animal had it.
The animal had it?
Give it to me. It belonged to Count Petrovsky.
How do you know?
I saw him put it in the safe.
Hi, this is Terry from Pacifica. When are you going to get the budget for some good movies like Invasion of the Saucer Man or I Was a Teenage Werewolf or The Blob? Thank you.
You know Michael Berryman, famous actor of horror film and other films. This movie that we're watching, Horror Express, it looks like there's multiple train cars, but there was only one.
Really?
They had to keep changing the decoration because they only had one car to use.
I couldn't afford two cars.
I know. You'd think a movie like that with all those stars.
Movie magic.
They spent all the money on the talent and not on the set. Shame, shame, shame. Speaking of talent, I want to hear about your Star Trek experiences. You've been in the film number 4, which was called
The Voyage Home.
The Voyage Home. And you had like a non-speaking role in that one.
Yes, I was a graphics display officer, but I got to be directed by Leonard Nimoy.
So you met the Leonard Nimoy.
Yes.
However, you were on Next Generation, and you were Captain Rix.
Yes.
A Bolian.
The very first, I believe.
The very first Bolian on Star Trek is sitting right here next to me tonight.
This is true.
Fabulous. How did they tell us how that
I was
went?
sitting in the makeup chair, and they were coming up with different looks. Now, I had worked with Fred Phillips in Cuckoo's Nest, who designed Spock's ears.
Right.
So here I am in Star Trek world, and they're adding a gray and blue kind of modeled, and they put a crease all the way up my face and down my back. And it was a fantastic look.
Right.
It was a very, I got to meet Mr. Picard. It was a great show. Jean-Luc. And when we wrapped, I wanted to get to Palmdale, California from Hollywood to pick up my girlfriend's children from grammar school so they would not be on the bus. And I wanted to pick them up, walk into the classroom looking like a Bolian. And I thought that would be kind of cool because they were like 4th and 5th grade. They would love it.
Right.
So in order to make this happen, I had to drive on the 14 freeway in my car, and I had to pass a police officer going over the speed limit. So I figured, well, I know what to do. So I pull up next to this officer. There's hardly anybody on the road, and he's frowning, and he looks at me like, how dare you go? And his eyes get big, and I do this. I am late, that's my watch, for my ship. And I look at him, and he has this very disturbed look, and I do it twice, and he does this. Closed his eyes at 70 miles an hour, and goes, waved me on. So I floored it. My Pontiac was doing good. I did like about 95 miles an hour. I figured, he said I should go ahead. And I thought there'd be a roadblock and I'd be arrested, of course. Nothing happened. Well, I made it to school and picked the kids up, and we had a good laugh.
Now, you know, if I tried that, if I painted myself blue like a Boolean and used your Boolean sign language on a police officer, I think I would spend the night in jail.
Lousy meal.
No, it's got to be, it's a trick only Michael Berryman can do, so don't you folks at home even think about trying it.
No, don't do that.
All right, I'm getting the signal, we got to get back to the film, but when we come back, we're going to talk some more with Mr. Michael Berryman, because he is full of stories. I think we need to have you on 5 more times to get them on, and he can do that with his ears.
One or the other?
Oh, really? In stereo? My goodness. All right, I'm going to practice that one. All right, off we go, back to Horror Express. Stay with us.
Steel, harder than a diamond. That's why the spies are after it. French, German, English. But they're wasting their time. What really matters is the formula. And that, gentleman, is safe. Up here.
What happened to the girl? The spy?
She's dead. The fossil, or whatever it was, killed her. But there's no more danger, Countess.
Beast is not dead.
I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
The Unholy One is among us. Oh, Shamo, Shamo, Shamo.
Specimen jar.
What do you expect to find in the eye fluid?
I don't know.
This is incredible. What?
It's the last thing the creature saw.
The police inspector.
The image has been retained in the fluid.
Exactly. The creature's visual memory is located not in its brain, but in the eye itself. Can you identify anything?
It's a brontosaurus. A pterodactyl.
Incredible. This is not a map.
It can only be the Earth, seen from space.
I hope I'm not intruding. People on the train are becoming afraid, Professor.
People on long journeys become bored, madame. They crave excitement.
Then there's no more danger.
It's all finished.
And what about your science? The evolution you were talking about.
Look for yourself.
Come here, Pujadov. There's something I want to show you. Look.
Боже мой. It is the Holy Rite. On the second day, he created the earth. Where did you get it?
There, from the creature's eye.
The eye of Satan.
Nonsense. There's a scientific explanation.
You know it?
No. Not yet.
Before the fall, before Satan was banished from the throne of God, the evil one looked down from heaven and did see.
Rubbish!
Pujardov. Pujardov. Where is he?
I don't know.
He's gone mad.
I'll look in the baggage car.
Right.
Looking for the thief, Miss Jones?
You know about it.
What's all the fuss?
You get back that eye, and there's 1,000 rubles in it for you.
1,000 rubles for an eye?
There's something in it. Pictures.
Pictures of what?
Pictures of the Earth in prehistoric times. Pictures of the Earth seen from space.
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess.
I see. Fool, there's nothing in your head of any use. Another killing.
Stop the train!
No right.
I want to get off.
There's no law.
Quiet. There's been talk about getting off the train. Well, you can forget it.
I'll complain to the authorities.
I'm not one of your musics.
If necessary, I'll shoot anyone who tries to stop the train.
Shoot! Shoot, you stupid Russian!
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Professor
Wells, is this creature dead or not? If it is, who killed Miss Jones?
Do you have any idea?
No, Inspector, I haven't, but I've asked the conductor to wire ahead to stop the train at the next station.
What's the idea? Tell me who you are. Tell me, I will serve you. I want to help you.
It's like some contagious disease.
Well, if there's a disease, there must be symptoms.
Fever?
You could take everyone's temperature.
The eyes. Why do their eyes go white?
Do you think it's true what they say about those horrible white eyes?
Oh, that part is true enough.
Ah, Inspector. It's only you now.
What about me?
Your eyes. We must examine your eyes, too.
Certainly.
Perhaps you should test for radiation or other invisible rays.
X-rays? Well, it's a thought, but on this train, how would we go about it?
Are you a scientist?
An engineer, but I try to keep up with things.
That's to be admired.
Inspector, I suggest you tell all these people to stay together, in groups or in pairs, so that if anything does happen to anybody, then somebody can raise the alarm. On no account must anybody be left alone.
Use of the train.
The train will be here in exactly 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what it says here. Doesn't say it in words, Your Honor, but in code. It's like another language.
I know about telegraphs, little papa. I know about trains. I know about electrical currents. On your feet, everybody! Outside, full pack! Even though I still believe in God, I don't like to be made a fool of.
No, Your Honor. I wouldn't do that.
Tell me, little father. You believe in the devil?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, good. Send a telegram. Tell him that Captain Kazan, he knows that a horse has 4 legs. He knows that a murderer has 2 arms. But still, the devil must be afraid of one honest Cossack,
Earth gravity. You know how to measure it?
How to measure gravity?
What I would like to know is, can gravity be overcome?
If you mean, can man get beyond the gravitational field of the Earth into space? Not yet, but any day now.
Someday?
There is a mathematics professor. His name is Tsiolkovsky. He has ideas about rockets. Machines that can fly free of the Earth's gravity.
You know him?
Tchaikovsky was one of my teachers. He was like a father to me. But why would a man like you be interested?
What do you think is behind all this, Excellency?
Look at this. That's what we saw under the microscope. It shows the Earth as it might look from space.
What does it mean?
It means that millions of years ago, some form of intelligence, came to the Earth from another planet. The atmosphere of the Earth was new to it, different. But it learned how to survive.
How?
By entering into the body and brain of an Earth creature. The fossil that I found and brought with me.
And this thing from another planet survived in the fossil, then came to life again?
Exactly.
Go on, Professor.
The animal that you shot was only the host. And when that animal died, the alien intelligence transferred somehow to another host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You're a very good detective. You've discovered everything except who is now the host.
And that's our next step.
Thought this might come in handy.
Oh, good idea.
The two of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? They're British, you know.
But you must have seen something.
I told you I was asleep. He knew about the white eyes. He told me.
When you fell asleep, the lights were on. And when you woke up?
They were off.
Are you sure?
Positive. It was dark. I'd put the lights on. And that's when I found him beside me.
When we did the test, the lights were on.
Master.
Inspector. This steel at high temperatures, what happens to it? It gets stronger. What temperatures, for example? 10 or 12,000 degrees. Where on earth would you get such temperatures? Nowhere on earth.
This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
We're starting to wind down on Horror Express, but Telly Savalas. I mean, he's actually a fine actor, but he's not very nice in this film.
No, he's quite the brute.
No, beyond brutal. He's supposed to be Russian level brutal.
Yeah.
They could be mean if they want to be. They're normally quite nice, though.
This is true.
Right. We'll see what happens. But first, Michael Berryman. The famous Michael Berryman is here with us. And you were telling me during the break that you did a bunch of stuff with Motley Crue.
Yep.
Like big stuff.
I got a phone call from my agent, and he was old school, Earl Flynn, little mustache, you know, and he goes, "Hey kid, I got you a gig." I about fell out of my chair when he said that. I said, "That doesn't sound like you, Lou, but where am I going?" Gave me an address, and I said, "Okay, who am I working with?" And he said, "It's a band, and they're called Motley Crue." Motley Crue, and I said, "Okay." Motley Crue, yes, very Crue, Motley. So I said, "Great, thank you very much, I'll be there." So I called a friend of mine who used to be a driver for an admiral at the Pentagon. He's a film historian. John, you're going to learn about Johnny because he's got stuff about movies. And he says, "I will be your driver." And I said, "Yes, because I'm going to be misbehaving with the crew."
Right.
So we wound up at a school auditorium, and there was security, and then there was a riser for a stage, and behind that was a curtain. And the band was behind the curtain.
Right.
So I was invited to go behind the curtain and sit down with the boys. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And then I noticed right away there was these containers with ice and probably 100 bottles of Corona beer, because it likes the ice.
Nice.
And a couple bigger brown bottles of whiskey.
Right.
Can you believe that? And this is, and I'm going to work, and this is.
And they're offering this to you.
Yes, of course.
Oh my goodness.
And I think one of the gals had a very long fingernail. Can you imagine that?
Oh.
It was almost a breath of fresh air.
I've seen these types before. They're trouble.
So they were so down to earth and so fun. We talked about surfing and we talked about music, and we're kind of goofing around, and I started to move my head, and I said, "Tommy, can you do this?" And he about fell out of his chair. He thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And he winds up at the end of smoking in the boys' room, where he reaches in and he grabs my toupee, and I go, after I give, Tommy his, Jimmy his homework. Well, they cut the earwiggle out after it had been on MTV for a long time.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
That was like probably the best part of the video.
You know, the fans thought so too. Matter of fact, they phoned in.
So this was for Smoking in the Boys' Room?
Smoking in the Boys' Room.
When they did, that was not their song. They did a remake of it.
They did a remake.
Right.
They did a great rendition.
Right.
So people had to pick up the phone at MTV and go, another complaint. Somebody had to go and edit an earwiggle back in to the video.
Well, and they should.
And they did. 4 seconds. I even got
As
the worksheet.
they should.
I went to do a voiceover for another movie, and the guy says, "Hey, I used to work for MTV, and here's a copy. I saw you coming in, and here, 4 seconds, your wiggle reinsert, so you never know where your talents may lie."
Yeah, we're going to see if we can overlay this clip on there.
Fantastic.
So we can see it. Although we've got some great ear wiggles already, so you could make money doing that. Wait, you have made money on it.
I did make money doing that.
All right. Well, let's make some money by showing some more Horror Express and maybe showing another commercial.
On the telly.
Right, on the telly.
Telly's on the telly.
On the telly. All right, off we go. Horror Express. You guys stay with us.
The Tsar will hear of this. I'll have you sent to Siberia.
I am in Siberia.
This is Countess Irina Petrovska, and I'm Count Marian Petrovsky.
Oh, Your Excellencies, I'm sorry. Of course, the Count and Countess are exempt from our orders. Please, escort them to their car. Are you a countess?
I'm an American, and I'm not accustomed to being bullied by foreigners. That man, he's the one who wouldn't let us get off the train. He's responsible.
Your Excellency, I'm a police inspector.
Everybody's under arrest. Including you. Who are the killers? Who are the troublemakers? Who are the foreign influences, huh? Oh!
Don't worry. I'll smoke them out.
What's he raving about?
You English believe in free speech, don't you, huh?
Certainly. If instead of babbling nonsense, you'd investigate this properly.
Oh! This is outrageous. Oh!
So, you're a police inspector, huh?
Yes, Captain. Mirov is my name.
Mirov? Oh, Mirov. That's a good Russian name, Mirov. Tell me, Mirov, what do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh?
Filth?
Oh, come on, Inspector. Certainly you know what I'm doing here, don't you? You just point out the suspects, and I promise you I'll get the truth out of them.
You're mistaken, sir.
Mistaken? Fool!
Get back! Get back! Back! Or I will put the curse on your heads. He has the evil eye.
Huh?
Beware the wrath of Satan.
Cool, huh? On your knees, monk.
We must try and stop this.
He was trying to protect you. Why?
He's mad.
Who are you?
I told you, a policeman.
One look at them and you're dead.
Coming to me, Satan. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Thy will be done on earth as it is in hell.
No, anything. Anything that moves near that door, kill it!
But what if the monk is innocent?
Ah, we got lots of innocent monks. All right, let's move these peasants out of here. Quickly!
He can't play his little tricks in a strong light.
What about you?
I'll be all right. Go on.
Will you take this?
Right.
You know, in spite of everything, Pujadov had a certain affection for you. Yet you humiliated him often, even in front of the Countess.
He's dead. You killed him.
If you want to kill Pujardov, it's too late.
I see you hanged.
The poor monk. He loved you more than he loved the promise of heaven.
Over there. Quickly, over there. You mean behind me?
It would be a mistake to kill me.
Who are you?
In words, it's difficult. I am a form of energy occupying this shell.
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy. I came with others like myself. I was left behind. An accident. I survived in protozoans, fish, vertebrates. The history of your planet is part of me. Pull the trigger, and you will end it.
What am I to do with you?
Let me go.
That's not possible.
It is possible. I will teach you to end disease, pain, hunger. Wait! There is something more.
Thank God. Stand back, please. Make room.
Moscow says to stop the express when it goes through the switching point.
Derail it. That means killing everybody on board.
That's what it says. Maybe there's a war. Maybe it's war.
So, what do you think of this one? You didn't see it last time we showed it, did you? No. You know, she skips off sometimes. Typically she watches the film with us, but last time she did not. This time, good.
It's nice to have you pop in.
So, the monster dies by the caboose pulling pin trick. Who'd have thought?
Oh my
It's a nice
goodness.
way to get rid of a monster, right?
They'll never use that train again.
No, never, never. We have Michael Berryman. He's, you know, she's seen all your films. She had to educate me on some of the ones that I overlooked on IMDb.
She held your hand during the scary ones.
She did. She always does that. She always does that. Or she'll scare away the sounds. She's dangerous, slightly. All right, so what do you got going on next?
Well, The Shed of the Dead just came out.
Shed of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, zombies.
Zombies are wonderful.
Yeah, they are.
This is like number 5 for you, zombie film?
I've done a couple.
Zombie film, good, good.
I actually
have to watch that one.
Well, I'm also writing. I'm writing my autobiography. I'm at page 110.
110?
Yes, I counted everyone.
You know, he was telling some stories during the breaks that you folks did not hear. He could probably fill up 1,000 pages. Where are you going to stop? How many pages will be your complete life?
Publishers are trying to push me to say 230 pages.
230. You know, you've told me more than 230 pages worth of stories. I think this should just be an introduction to your.
I could even make up some stuff.
I don't think you need to. You've got enough stories.
No, it's all true.
So when do you expect to be done?
I would like to be done by spring and have it presented to my publisher.
Spring of next year?
Yes.
Well, that's not bad.
April Fools.
You cannot release your autobiography on April Fools. That would be terrible.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No. So we once released an album on April Fools, and it was not a good thing. I think it jinxed the album. Or the album was just terrible. I don't know. Well, that's wonderful. And I'm sure you've got all kinds of things lined up, acting-wise, that you can't speak of because...
Those are works in progress, but I am doing a lot of conventions. I'll be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in about 2 months. I do a lot of conventions. I love to meet the fans.
So is that like what kind of convention? Comic-Con?
It's like a Comic-Con. I do Comic-Cons, horror conventions, independent film festivals. I'm a big fan of those. That's where you see the most...
General.
Yeah,
independent
short films,
right.
Fantastic new filmmakers coming up and about, and like to encourage people to tell their own stories.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And what better man to help tell your story than Michael Berryman?
Write what you know. That's what I
know. If I ever do a film,
yes,
I'm calling you up.
Incredible.
You know I will. You know I will. Well, Michael, I want to thank you so much for coming and seeing us, and you definitely made her night because she's been like bugging me to get you forever.
Thank you, dear.
Worked out well. All right, and as far as you guys are concerned, thank you for staying up late with us. We always appreciate it when you guys stay up, because if you didn't stay up and watch these films with us, it would just be like me, Tangela, and Michael having to endure it all. So it's nice to have a little company with your misery, right?
Yes, it's like being with family.
Exactly. All right, you folks have a nice weekend, and we shall see you next week. So, Michael, this thing you do with your ears.
Yes.
I would love to learn how to do that. I mean, do you think you could possibly train me?
Oh, I could try, but I think you would wind up looking like a Dumbo.